Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chairman, Karachi Council of Foreign Relations, Mr. Ikram Sehgal, former US Assistant Secretary of the United States for South Asia, Ambassador Robin Raphael, Vice Admiral Khalid Mir, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to firstly commend the Karachi Council of Foreign Relations for convening this seminar at a critical juncture and for giving me the opportunity to interact with and benefit from such distinguished luminaries. We need just hours away from the inauguration of the 46th President of the United States. President-elect Joe Biden takes over after what can only be described as an intense and unprecedented transition. As the new administration assumes the helm in Washington, D.C., this is an opportune moment to envision the direction of what I believe is among the most consequential relationships in South Asia. Pakistan-US relations have been consequential not only in terms of history, when we were steadfast allies during the Cold War and when Pakistan facilitated the building of bridges between China and the US. But we are consequential also in terms of what an uncertain future holds for the region and the world. Distinguished participants, there has already been an exchange of messages between Prime Minister Imran Khan and President-elect Biden, who has affirmed his interest in working with Pakistan on issues of common interest. President Joe Biden is no stranger to Pakistan, nor Pakistan to him. We are old friends. During his 8 years as Vice President and earlier in his leadership positions in the influential Senate Foreign Relations Committee, President Biden had developed deep insights on the dynamics impacting Pakistan-US relations and South Asia. His administration will include many familiar faces and experienced hands who know firsthand the value of close engagement between our two countries and peoples. Although no strangers to South Asia, I believe President Joe Biden and his team will discover that a lot of water has flown under the bridge. Over the past 4 years, for better or for worse, the world has changed. The US has changed. The region has changed, and so has Pakistan. The Afghan peace process, for which both the United States and Pakistan have worked so hard, is at a pivotal juncture. The process is essentially meant to bring to a responsible end the longest war in America's history. For this, there is bipartisan support. South Asia's largest state is under the iron grip of fascism-inspired Hindutva ideology, which is not only illiberal, but also racist, extremist, and violent. From geopolitics of the past, Pakistan has pivoted towards geoeconomics. And the people of Kashmir are under an unrelenting siege. A world vastly different in complexity and complexion, animated by a different set of drivers and faced with a myriad of challenges is upon us. The pandemic, the global economic slowdown, climate change, and the erosion of multilateralism are clear and present crises. Drawing upon our historic ties, the reset in Pakistan-US relations must develop shared understandings to deal with the challenges of today for a better tomorrow. Let me throw some light on how things have changed and what I believe must be the pivots for a renewed partnership. 1. Pakistan's security environment has vastly improved. At the cost of 83,000 innocent lives and some $126 billion losses to our economy, we have turned the tide against terrorism. We have not only cleared the erstwhile tribal areas of all remnants of terrorism, but have also integrated the region into the political mainstream. Pakistan continues to take unprecedented actions against proscribed groups. Our journey from terrorism to tourism is exemplified most recently by the New York Times designation of Lahore as one of the top places to visit in 2021. Two, under the leadership of Prime Minister Imran Khan, a fundamental transformation has taken place in Pakistan. Our priority is to pursue economic growth and human development. We have declared on multiple occasions that Pakistan will never again be part of a regional conflict, that we will only be partners for peace. We have shown by words and by deeds that a dignified peace is what we desire, and a dignified peace is what we will work for. The establishment of the Kartarpur corridor and the return of the downed Indian pilot who had violated our airspace is one manifestation among many of this fundamental policy focus. Three, nowhere is Pakistan's vision for a peaceful neighborhood more manifestly evident than in the efforts we have made as part of a shared responsibility in support of peace in Afghanistan. While the road to peace in Afghanistan remains long and difficult, Pakistan and the United States have made progress that would have appeared improbable, if not incredible, just 2 years ago. Despite the challenges that lie ahead, the Afghan peace process still offers Afghanistan and the region its best chance for peace in 40 years. It is our hope and expectation that the Biden administration would persevere with it. While the United States can and must continue to count on Pakistan as a partner for peace in Afghanistan, there are other actors who do not share this vision. Spoilers have to be guarded against. Equally importantly, both our sides must remain cognizant that achieving an inclusive political settlement of Afghanistan would only be the first step towards peace. Pakistan and the United States would need to work together to facilitate Afghanistan's transition from a war economy to a peace economy. The continued support and engagement of the international community would be of vital for sustainable peace and development in Afghanistan. This will require close consultations between Pakistan and the United States going forward. Four, India has changed. It has changed for the worse. India's actions of August 5th, 2019, and its continuing repression of the Kashmiri people, its persecution of religious minorities, and its strained relations with most of its neighbors are all makers of the Hindu nationalist frenzy that has gripped India. Imagined geopolitical compulsions should not blind the world to India's reality as the primary driver of instability in South Asia. We have already shared a detailed dossier with the United States on India's efforts to foment terrorism and instability in Pakistan. We hope that the Biden administration would facilitate meaningful and substantive engagement between Pakistan and India. Exerting pressure on India to stop its nefarious activities in Pakistan and to work towards resolution of outstanding disputes will be the first step in this direction. The US must also be mindful of India's designs to engineer a crisis to distract attention from its domestic problems. Its leaders have publicly spoken of their desire to use military force against Pakistan. Nothing can be more irresponsible in a nuclearized environment. Ladies and gentlemen, while Pakistan will continue to work with the United States for peace in the region, our relationship has been and must be larger than the sum total of our shared interests with respect to Afghanistan and counterterrorism. The advent of a new administration in Washington is an opportunity for us to build a relationship with the United States that is long-term, broad-based, and multidimensional. Such a partnership would require institutionalized and structured engagement that is based on mutual respect and win-win cooperation. For all the talk of so-called great power transitions and realignments, the logic for a strong Pakistan-US relationship on its own merits and on its own weight remains compelling. It is compelling because of geoeconomics. Pakistan is a nation of over 220 million people, two-thirds of whom are under 30 years of age. We sit at the crossroads of China, South and Central Asia. Pakistan envisions itself as a future hub for trade and investment in the region. Our geoeconomic location operates for all actors involved. Such an outlook will also be crucial to sustain Afghanistan's economy. Pakistan and the United States must work together to extend economic connectivity to Afghanistan and seek opportunities for co-investment by Afghanistan, Pakistan, US, and China. The potential for Pakistan-US partnership in the economic sector is immense. Once we have completed our ongoing connectivity projects, Pakistan would be a conduit to a market of some 3 billion people in South and Central Asia. Just look at the profitability of the corporate sector in Pakistan and compare it with its average profitability globally. And the point I'm making will be clear. Pakistan is an energy-deficient country, while the United States is emerging as a major energy supplier. There is considerable meeting of the minds between the government of Pakistan and the incoming Biden administration's priorities, particularly in the areas of public health and climate change. Our emphasis on providing high quality and subsidized healthcare to all its citizens actually predated the COVID-19 crisis, but has acquired greater urgency since the onset of the pandemic. Similarly, Pakistan has been a regional trailblazer in combating climate change. Our massive tree plantation drives have won international acclaim. We hope to enlist the Biden administration's assistance in mitigating the health crisis and its economic fallout, as well as combating climate change. Eradicating corruption is high on our agenda. We welcome President-elect Biden's call for cracking down on money laundering and illicit safe havens that inflict enormous damage on developing countries. The people of Pakistan have always had tremendous cultural affinity for the United States. The brightest and most ambitious of Pakistani youth continue to aspire to study in US colleges and universities. We therefore look forward to further enhancing educational exchanges between our two countries. Finally, the Pakistani-American community is an important bridge and pull factor drawing the two countries closer. Over the years, this diverse and enterprising community has found success in the land of endless opportunity. They are actualizing the American dream and increasingly engaging in public service and civic management. The yearning for democratic participation among young Pakistani-Americans is a reminder of the many values that stem from their hyphenated identities. It is the commonality of values, the common denominations that are ultimately the bedrock of any strong relationship. Let me conclude by saying that our shared interests, common aspirations for economic development and enhanced connectivity in the region, and this rare moment of hope for peace in Afghanistan provide a strong foundation for both sides to take the bilateral relationship forward. With hope and optimism, let us move ahead. I thank you.